So, yeah, 5 worst cars in my opinion by me, K6000. Now, I'm making this video, all you guys, for a reason. All you consumers might want to be looking out for a little car, might want to be looking out to buy a car. And you ask someone, what car do I want to buy? Well, here are the worst cars to buy with money. Fiat 500L. Now, of course this car is a loser. Like, who would buy this? Now, of course, this car is equipped with a 1.4-liter Fiat 4-cylinder, which makes very little power. It's awfully small, probably about the size of your computer screen, or half. And yeah, basically, this is a really bad car. It scores in IHS testing, it scores a marginal, or even worse, a poor. That's seriously how unsafe this thing is. And not only that, but also Consumer Reports rates it a 30. This is horrible. This is horrible. Now, you consumers would probably not want to buy this car. This car is made for Europe. It's definitely not made for America, which you all should know. Not only that, but Fiat's had a really bad history. It's had a bad history of these unreliable, slow, bad-looking cars like this Fiat 500L. Do you see how ugly this car looks? It's like it looks almost like a Fiat 500 mixed with a van. I mean, it has pretty good headroom. You might say it's worth the money, but it's not. It's a horrible car, and it's a horrible waste of your money. And of course, for a car from Italy, you expect beautiful drive refinement and beautiful engine sound. Well, guys, you watchers, you better look out for this car. If you see this car, maybe you want to think about: am I really making the right decision? Am I really letting my own instincts fool me? Well, of course, this interior of this car is gorgeous, which I would have to agree it's pretty cool. But then again, you shouldn't always let good looks fool you. Good look behind all that finery and leather in your Italian car, there's a 1.4-liter 4-cylinder that's rumbling around and loud and seems like it's ready to break down and at 60 miles an hour. And so, yeah, basically Fiat's had a really bad history of really bad engines. And of course, you might say, I wonder, and so you might be wondering why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because I seriously want to let you guys all know that I know that a lot of people buy unreliable cars, and a lot of people say that reliable cars are expensive. Well, that's not true, actually. You can buy this Fiat 500. It's just this Fiat 500L. It might look really nice to you. Of course, not to me, but who would seriously drive this? This is almost like an ugly mix of a Fiat 500 mixed with a van. Seriously, it's seriously unreliable, of course, like I said earlier. And Fiat's had a really long history of unreliability in their beautiful, quote, beautiful engines, but really not that beautiful. In fact, they're the most unreliable engines in the world. 2. Pontiac Aztek. Now, you guys might all be saying that this is the worst car ever of the century, or it's the ugliest, most hideous car ever. Of course, you're true. That's, of course, true. Because this Pontiac Aztek is, the thing that most people don't like about it is that its looks. It's a very hideous-looking car. It looks like almost a Pontiac vibe mixed with a van. That's true. This big, tall, clunky shape. This looks almost like someone made this out of grunt work. Seriously, grunt work. And this ugly-looking car that's trying to look futuristic. It really isn't. No wonder Pontiac shut down. No wonder this didn't sell. Of course, of course, it comes equipped to the three. I think at least I think a 3.1 liter V6, which produces around 182 horsepower, 185 horsepower, which is horrible for the time. I mean, would you seriously pay like $30,000 for this car and get an ugly looking car with like that accelerates to 60 mile per hour, that with a 3.1 engine that accelerates barely to 60 miles per hour in 14.1 seconds, and worse, that's only 185 horsepower. Seriously, the bodywork of this car is terrible. Terrible looking wheels, terrible looking hood, terrible styling. Seriously, it's like it looks like a little kid designed it. And this car, of course, it isn't even a giant. It has 182.2 in length inches in length. That's shorter than a Honda Civic. Seriously, a Honda Civic. Well, this is of course like one of my least favorite cars. That if you saw one, you'd probably wanna get mad at it and destroy it. 3. Ford Focus. Now, you might all be thinking about, oh, it's such a good car. It's America's #1 best-selling car. Well, it isn't. In fact, I'd like to tell you why. For example, this car is just so unreliable, and no matter how many RS logos it has, it's still not. No matter how many racing logos it has, it's not going to change. It's just a boring old Ford Focus that tries to act tough, but it isn't. In fact, this car is rated at a 50 out of 100 in Consumer Reports, which is below average. At least it looks like it's below average. And of course, it's equipped with the Ford Focus RS. This is the new one, but the new one is equipped with a 2.3 liter i4, which produces around 350 horsepower. But seriously, don't let 350 ponies stall. Seriously, don't let them all trick you. They're gonna seriously. This car is super unreliable, and you can tell it's built for Europe. And it's so slow. I'm pretty sure if I even drove in the Death Valley on my first day I got this car, I would probably break down the middle desert, and a tow truck's not gonna come. Ford Fiesta. Ford Fiesta. Now, you might be thinking it's a really good car for the value. Well, it isn't. Just like the Ford Focus, it might not be the best for the value. The Ford Fiesta, of course, has probably looks like it's maybe about 140 horsepower, below average, 4-cylinder. And the thing is, it only scores a marginal. The Fiesta 4-door sedan only scores a marginal in IHS crash test rating. I mean, obviously, if it's a marginal, you're probably going to get your legs smashed in a crash or, like, your chest broken in a crash. You could have... Seriously, this is, like, one of the most dangerous cars I've ever seen, and obviously you wouldn't want to drive it. And, again, no matter how... And you might think it's good value. Well, it isn't. Just because of those ST badges and that sport badges on the Ford Fiesta doesn't always mean it's the best car. In fact, it kind of makes it look like it's kind of a loser car, which you all might not think that, and I hope you guys don't get all triggered if I say that, but, like, you know, it's a Ford Fiesta. Come on, these two, Ford Fiesta and Ford Focus, come on. Come on, America can do better than that, we're smarter than that. But, yeah, seriously, no matter how much fame a car gets, it's still not going to change. It's not going to change anytime. Actually, it's the real people behind those design screens that have to change it. Really, it's those designers that have to change it, not fans and movies that have to change it. Number 5, Jeep Renegade. Now, you guys might be thinking, why would you say a Jeep Renegade's bad? Well, you guys, just like last time, just because a car is a star car doesn't always mean it's a star in reliability. For example, I know that, for example, this Jeep Renegade, it's really small. It has a 2.4 liter Chrysler engine that has maybe about 144 horsepower. Basically, it's a horrible car, and it's really unreliable. And it looks like oh, I want to go off roading in this thing, but really, this car, if you go off roading it, it's just gonna break down. Not only that, but also maybe you see this pink Jeep on the road. Some a little girl says, "Mommy, mommy, I want a pink Jeep." Well, behind all those Barbie logos, maybe you should, behind all that fame in a Jeep and all that fun, maybe you should think about like what kind of per, what kind of result am I gonna get from my choice? Of course, what makes Jeep bad is that fix it again, Tony, or Fiat, like I explained earlier. Fiat is literally like the worst car in the world. Seriously, even seriously, Fiat behind all that chrome in the 1960s Fiats and 70s, there's like a two-cylinder engine just slogging to 60 miles an hour in like 30 seconds. Seriously, Fiat, President Obama. I mean, President Obama, I'm sure he did a good idea, just shipping off Jeep to Fiat, and he did save America's industry. But like, seriously, Obama, did you send Fiat to? Seriously, Obama. Why would you send Fiat to the Italian? Why would you send Jeep to the Italians? They're probably just gonna make our craftsmanship worse. You might be wondering why. Why K6000? Why hate on me? Well, of course, I hate on these cars purposely. It's because I would really like you to refrain from these cars. You know, I don't want me being blamed for not telling you, because obviously these cars are not cars your parents or even you would want to get. And so when driving that fun little Jeep or Ferrari driving that little Jeep down the beach, think about: do you see a big trail of exhaust coming out? Do you see? Do you hear the engine that 3.6 liter Pentastar engine sputtering? Well, if you don't hear that, you're fine. If you do, well, that's a problem. So maybe you should think about your car choices before you make them. So yeah, subscribe. Sorry for that, but thanks to Consumer Reports, and subscribe to K6000. K6000 out.